Hello, everyone. My name is Ellis Owens. I also go by my Air Force call sign, which is Clark Kent 434, and that is now my gamer tag. And today I'm bringing you guys another weapon review, and I'm going to be featuring the U-100 MK5, better known as the Ultimax. I'm going to probably refer it as the Ultimax. This is the starting machine gun, the default machine gun when you first unlock the support class, and I actually kind of like this gun. I don't think it's a big favorite. There is some negatives to this, but there's a lot of positives to this, and I think DICE did a really well job with a lot of the starting weapons. And so I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and start reviewing this. So for the stats of this gun, the max damage is 25 and minimum is 18. And that's characteristics of a lot of weapons. Is 25, minimum is 18. The drop off starts at 8 meters and ends at 65. It's got a pretty long drop off. Fire rate is 590 rounds per minute. It's one of the slowest in the game. It's 590, and that's one of the high negatives I do not like about it. The burst rate is also 590, so you're not going to see an increase there. Muzzle velocity is 650 meters per second, so that's pretty good. Muzzle velocity suppressed is 330. Bullet drop is 15 meters a second squared. Your magazine size is 46, and that is the for the general stats. Magazine size is 46. This is also a magazine size LMG. This is not a belt fed. The belt fed magazine size are usually a little bit higher. Also, belt feds tend to have a higher amount of recoil pattern, and we're going to see that when we get to the recoil of this. So just keep that in mind. The reload speeds for empty is 3.9 seconds, and bullets left is 2.7. Those are not horrible, neither are they great. 2.7 is, I wouldn't say the worst, but I mean, it's not the greatest. Compared to some of the better guns out there, I mean, yeah, I don't think that's, I mean, by no terms is that horrible, but I mean, there's still definitely probably better guns out there. I mean, it is one of the quickest reload times for the LMGs. The RPK-12 is a little bit faster in reloads, but it's the fastest class, so this is the second fastest. But for most weapons out in the other classes, such as assault rifles and carbines, this is actually a very slow reload time for at least bullets left in the chamber, the 2.75. So now let's going on to the recoil pattern. We're looking at a 2.5 upward recoil, a left of a 2, and a right of a 2. Recoil decreases at a 18, and your first shot multiplier is a 1.5. So looking over at the recoil, that's actually extremely low. Upward of 2.5, that's really low, and a 2 left and right. Actually, that's so low, I would honestly recommend that you probably not use attachments. Like a compensator or even a muzzle brake, because anything that's usually a 2.5 or lower, or even almost under a 3, you're usually good not to use attachments because it's so manageable. And typically, I play console. I don't know what you might play, but I'm a console player. And usually 2 is very manageable. I know PC players, they can handle a lot higher recoils and they can manage it better because they can fine-tune some of their settings for their mouses. So this is actually very manageable for most people. The first shot multiplier being a 1.5, that's very low. That's nice to see that. So bursting this weapon, you're not going to see an increase in recoil. I mean, it's only going to multiply it by 1.5. Times the recoil. So, I mean, that's going to be really nice. So, I mean, overall, it's very low in the recoil pattern, so it's very manageable. So now let's look at the spread of the bullets. So the spread increase is at 0.077. So for the LMG category, that is actually one of the lowest, if not the lowest of them all, of all the LMGs. That's right. So it has the most accurate spread of all the LMGs. It decreases at a rate of 15. Your aim down sight accuracy is a 0.2, and aim down sight while moving is a 0.2. Hip fire spread is 4.5. So now looking at that, 0.2 aim down sights while not moving. That's on par with that's the same as an assault rifle. So it has the same accuracy as assault rifle, which is very good. That's very great. The hip fire spread of 4.5. That's not horrible, but I mean it's worse than an assault rifle, but it's expected. It is an LMG. So now looking at all the specs, why would you kind of like this gun? It has kind of a horrible fire rate. It's 590, but I mean, why would I like this gun? Well, I know the fire rate's at 590. The muzzle velocity is 650, so it's going to have a good traveling speed. It has an okay magazine, 46. It's not the greatest, at least of the magazine-fed LMGs, but some of the things I do like is, one, it has a very low recoil pattern, making it very manageable. Two, it has a very low first shot multiplier. So the first shot multiplier, if you don't know, anytime you're in a single shot or burst fired, it multiplies your recoil pattern. And when you're burst fire, it always moves the recoil to the last bullet. If you're in a single shot, it's only that one bullet. So it times it by that. So if it's 1.5, it's going to be your recoil times 1.5. So if you had a 2 times multiplier, it's your recoil times 2. Or like an AEK has a 3, so it's 3 times your recoil. So that's what the first shot multiplier does. It times it, and it gives it the initial bloom of the recoil. That's the whole point of the first shot multiplier. Since it's so low and you have a low recoil pattern, it's going to be extremely manageable to burst fire this weapon, not only to actually just using this gun full auto. The key to most LMGs, and people don't realize, is burst fire. Burst fire, burst fire, burst fire. Medium range, burst fire. At long range, you do even shorter burst fire. And at short range, you just go full auto. That's the key to LMGs. I used to play a lot of assault class. I now play strictly support. I'm a support guy all the time. And I actually have increased KD, I found out. I just play a little bit more defensive. I hide a little bit more to regain my health. But I found out now with more bullets, I actually do better. Because that way I don't have to run out of ammunition. Because I'm actually a really good slayer, but I find out I run out of ammunition. And there's not a lot of key support players. And what I liked about this gun, granted that the reload's not great. Granted it doesn't have great magazine. Granted it doesn't have a great fire rate. But it comes down to it has a good recoil pattern and the ADS and the spread. The ADS is a 0.2, so it makes it assault rifle accuracy. The spread is a 0.077. It has the most tightest spread of all the LMGs. And that is what is so key about this. I mean, there's some of the assault rifles are right there with that, like the SAR, the AUG, and some of the DMRs and sniper rifles. So the spread increase of the bullets as they spread as you fire each bullet is so low and so accurate. This gun is just amazingly pinpoint accurate. And I find it that medium long ranges that this gun really excels. Obviously, because of the low fire rate, 590, it's not going to do that well at short range. But medium long range, you're going to take people out. The muzzle velocity is at 650 meters per second, and that's where this gun really excels. It's a medium to a long-range slayer because you don't have a high fire rate. And the drop-off for the bullets is at 65. Most guns drop off at 50, so you have an extra 15 meters where that minimum, where your damage actually goes out farther. So you have a higher damage drop-off. And that's what I like about this, because you can literally put a heavy barrel on this, a stubby grip to even decrease that spread multiplier even more, and literally just burst people or full auto at incredibly long distances that you see snipers at, and you just kill them, and they're like, why? And put a 4-time ACOG scope with a cannon iron sights, and that's the way I love to run this. But then you say, well, what do you do about close range engagements? This has a low fire rate, and this is because the high muzzle velocity and the pinpoint accuracy is good for medium and long range. Well, that's where you need to have a good sidearm, like the shorty shotgun. Or if you don't want to run like a heavy barrel on this gun, you could put a suppressor. Now, I was running suppressor, and because it has a high muzzle velocity, you could run a suppressor. That does give you element surprise. So when you're at short ranges, or not short range, but close range engagements, it kind of gives you element surprise. So if there's guys nearby you, enemies, they won't actually alert to your position. I know it might sound redundant to put a suppressor because you do lose that great muzzle velocity, which is so good for long range engagements, but it does kind of give you the element surprise, which is probably might actually save you a couple times. But I mean, it's really up to you. Not everyone looks at the mini map. You'll be surprised. Only about half of players. There was something I read recently on Simtic.com, and that's where my stats are coming. And the link of all the stats for this is down below. And I was reading a thread on there, and there was something they were talking about that a good amount of players don't actually look at the map, especially in fast-paced games. They just don't have time for it. And to be honest, when I'm in a firefight, I don't look at a map. I don't have time for it. It's only between when I'm trying to find a kill or when I'm trying to get to the next objective, then I'm looking at a map. But it's true. I sat there and thought about it. Yeah, only about half the time I actually do look at a map. So I hope this really helps you out. Obviously, like I said, there's many good attachments you can run on this, but you're going to have to be careful of your short range engagements. But yeah, this is one of my favorite guns, the Ultimax. But there is obviously some better LMGs out there, but this is a good medium to long range LMG, and that's what I really like it for. It's an assault rifle. It's more of an assault rifle LMG than anything. It really has assault rifle precision than anything else. So if you guys really enjoyed this, I don't know if you did or not, but I hope you did. Would you like and favorite? I'm gonna let this gameplay play out. It goes out a little bit longer than what my time is, so you guys can see the rest of the gameplay. And I'll keep bringing videos, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Objective Charlie has been lost.